Hi everyone, and thanks for joining. We're going to take a quick look at this statue. It does have this weird open mouth, which usually has more of like a hominid kind of face to it. And what's neat about this stone is it has old and new on it. This is the same one that we've been studying for a while. Pick your eye. There are smoothed out pupils, and then there are carvings. So there's always like a protruding and then a recessed. And so you can see how this character, if you start looking at it as a statue, is popping out at us, and there's so much more on this, but we'll go ahead and move it around just a little bit. Now as I tilt, if I tilt too far, we're going to completely lose it and we'll get into a new image. But just wanted to share this one with you a little bit and take a look at it in the sun. We can't leave it out in the sun for too long because it does have all this paint and stuff on it, but these shadows that are being cast definitely help to see these little carvings and circles. If you think about real prehistoric stuff, this is just a prehistoric duck head. And if you look at just the head of the duck and how the eye and the beak is coming out, you might be able to see how there might be body parts of the duck there as well. So it's really interesting to look at it in this light. And the duck itself, you know, it's so many other things too. So you have to kind of look at it in different ways here. So, sorry, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. This thing has so much on it, and I've been studying it for a little bit, trying to figure out the best ways to show you guys everything that's in it. Hopefully you can see, I know it's in the shade, but you can see how this smoothed out section is done, and how the face is kind of cut off, and how that big puffy hat is on top. And with the sun the way it is, you can really see the ruffles. But I hope that you guys maybe you need to turn the brightness up on your phone just a little bit. Now, of course, this nose sticking out here, you can see, and if you look closely where the eye should be, you can see the carving for it. The circle with the line right there in the middle, right? And I'm trying to kind of keep this in perspective for us a little bit, so you guys can see what I'm talking about there. Excuse me. So go ahead and tilt it just a little more here. I'll show you, I did the short about the napped edge there, but that's a fully napped curved edge, and I can zoom in on that for your archaeological types who want to see the evidence. You know, it's important to show that stuff, and I want to talk a little bit about that while I show you the rest of this. And I'll just point, you guys know what it is, eye, nose, mouth, right? So the archaeological professionals can't touch this stuff, because if they do, they'll lose their careers. Time and time again, whenever anyone speaks up about this kind of stuff, or really anything that's not what is, you know, common knowledge, or what's already taught about, what's already been studied, they get chastised. The archaeological community is pretty cutthroat. They attack each other, and they get really defensive about ideas, and they ruin each other's careers. At least they used to, a lot more maybe than they do now. Hopefully they don't do it that much anymore. But I mean, look into it. Look into American archaeology. It is indeed the laughingstock of the rest of the world. And it's sad that they can't speak up for this stuff, because people actually care about it. Like citizens, once they see it and they know it's really, you know, really there, they actually care. So, jeez. So this one is kind of tough to explain all the way, but I think it kind of speaks for itself, and hopefully I'm showing it correctly. You can look at, you know, we looked at this one before, but that eye right there, and how the mouth, the way that it's jutted out, it's just this big jut. But when you look at it without looking at the depth, just look at the color, you can see how that perfect silhouette comes out with, of course, the eye and the cheek and the hair and everything else. So at first you may just be able to see the face. It's hard for me to see what you can see, you know, but you might just be able to only see the face and not see any of this hair coming up. You know, you see the way that it's bunched up. And the reason why you really can't see it yet is just because you don't believe that it's possible. And once you believe it's possible, it still takes a long time to figure it all out. Oh, jeez. It's fun, though. It sure is. So there's some really neat ones on here, but I'm going to pause for the wind here. There we are. So there's a silhouette down here that I'll try to shoot out for us. And then there's another one right on top. So let's look at the one on top first, I suppose. So you're going to have double silhouettes. You're going to have one human silhouette down here and then another one in this section. This happens a lot in the art. You can see how just the small little face is done on there. And if you look at the rest of the stuff, how he's got yelling mouth, and you see how these are coming back. And below it, there is another one, and I can't get this actually. There we are. So this guy turns into a bird with this pointy beak, and then you can see the very defined, again, same human silhouette. Just a reminder, this is all the same stone. All of this stuff is on the same exact rock. And there's some more to see, but we're gonna have to change the lighting angle a little bit. I am liking this little, it almost looks like a reverse squirrel girl again. But there's some really beautiful ones here when we stand it up on its narrow. And so some of this stuff might come out pretty good here in the light, the way we have it. So if you look closely, it's hard to believe, but you see the ridge of the nose. So it's a face actually looking this way. Pardon me. All right, I'm not gonna be able to let this go, apparently. But hopefully you can see, maybe I'll just point it right at us. There's a few different eyes. You can see how the very defined mouth is done, right? And I tell you what, when you catch this thing in the right light, you can see the human's face. It is just uncanny. And I'll try to catch it for you, and you'll be able to spot it too. But see the bigger eye and the other eye over here. How this whole thing is about the size of a head, right? It might take a minute to see it. I don't know how well it's going to be able to come out. But what we're looking at right now is a human. It's actually a hominid. And I don't want to break your brain, and I don't want to upset everybody. But there's a human and there's a hominid. And it's showing evolution. It's teaching people about where we came from. This is a painted piece of white crystal. It's what we have coined as the gateway examples. And we're gonna have to take another look at this at night. Because there's so much more to see on it. All right, everyone. I do appreciate you hanging out, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.